After a huge 4-game series sweep of the New York Mets, the Philadelphia Phillies picked up right where they left off and won the series opener against the Kansas City Royals on Friday night, 8-2. They are now on a 5-game winning streak. Taijuan Walker is on the mound tonight here on Saturday for the Philadelphia Phillies for Game 2 of this 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Now, in other news, the Mets did lose to the Texas Rangers last night, which is awesome because that just helps the Phillies gain extra games and all that fun stuff. The Phillies now have a 12-game lead over the New York Mets in the National League East with that win yesterday and the Mets loss. The Phillies' magic number is now down to 3 to clinch the National League East division title for the second consecutive season here. Obviously, last year in 2024, this year in 2025, they are well on their way for that. They are also fighting for the top seed in the National League. They're right on the Milwaukee Brewers' tails now after really just decreasing that lead. The Brewers had a big lead over them for a little bit there. I believe it's down to like 2 games or so, something like that. Still about 15, 14 games to play. So it could happen. You never know. They're still fighting for one of these top 2 seeds because you get a first round bye with that. The Los Angeles Dodgers are also right behind the Phillies trying to get up there as well. We'll see what happens, but the Phillies just keep on winning, and it's awesome to see. Hopefully, Taijuan Walker and the Phillies can get another win here against the Royals tonight on Saturday, improve their win streak, and win another series going into Sunday's series finale. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Yesterday, on Saturday, we had a debut for the Phillies, and that is veteran starting pitcher Walker Buehler took the mound for the Phillies in that series opener against the Kansas City Royals. He looked pretty good overall. I mean, he was released by the Boston Red Sox a little bit earlier this season, a couple of weeks ago. Obviously had a very good career overall for a few years there with the Dodgers. Postseason success with them. He actually made the final out of the World Series last year against the New York Yankees. So he's got a lot of success. He's a 2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. The Red Sox signed him during the offseason. Just didn't work out there for him. Had a 5.45 ERA in 23 appearances there for Boston. They released him. The Phillies took a chance on him, signed him. He made a AAA start a couple of days ago. Didn't look great in that start, but nonetheless, the Phillies brought him up to use a 6-man rotation for the rest of the regular season and see if he can have some postseason success as well for the team once October starts. But in his first start with the Phillies last night against the Royals, he looked pretty good. He didn't look great, but he didn't look bad. He looked probably a lot better than he had with the Red Sox. He went 5 strong innings for the Phillies, allowed 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 1 earned run, and 3 strikeouts, in those 5 innings. And he picked up the win in his first career start with the Phillies. Again, he's a guy that is a veteran. He's been around. He's been in big moments. And with Zach Wheeler out for the playoffs, for the regular season with his injury, this is a guy that could really help the Phillies if he can continue to build off of that start yesterday and get back to where he was, to his, not necessarily all the way back to his all-star self, but if he can kind of resemble that to an extent, then the Phillies got a good pickup here late in the season and going into the playoffs. Hopefully he can continue that. He'll only have maybe 1-2 more starts here in the regular season, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs. He'll be in the bullpen most likely, with usually the starting rotation decreases from those 5 starters to 4, sometimes even 3 in the playoffs. And obviously you'll have Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, Aaron Nola, Jesus Luzardo above him most likely for those spots. But he could be a big help there in the bullpen for the Phillies. We'll see what happens. Just something to build on yesterday. Could have been a lot worse for him. Obviously not having his best year in 2025 overall, but a good start and a good debut in front of the home fans at Citizens Bank Park. That's all you can ask for. The Phillies got him some early run support. We'll get right into that just right now. Early in the ballgame, the Phillies did trail the Royals at first 1-0. The Royals had a lead, and then all of a sudden they scored on a sacrifice fly to tie it up, and then Bryce Harper, the face of the franchise, one of the faces of Major League Baseball, the showman, he came up and he broke that game, gave the Phillies a go-ahead 2-run home run by Bryce Harper there in the 3rd inning. Made it a 3-1 Phillies lead there in the 3rd. Bryce Harper's 26th home run of 2025. Always great to see Bryce Harper home runs. It's exciting. 26 home runs. He did miss some time earlier in the season So still a very impressive number out of him. It's not really an MVP type of year for Bryce Harper, but he has been very solid, very consistent for the team. He comes up in these big moments like usual, and he did that again yesterday in that 8-2 win, gave the Phillies that 3-1 lead there in the third inning after trailing 1-0. And then he got that offense rolling because the offense has been hot in those final games against the Mets, and they stayed hot here against the Royals in that series opener on Friday night. The Phillies offense had 14 hits and scored those 8 runs against the Royals to kick off that 3-game series. Again, they've been clicking as of late. They were hot, scored a bunch of runs against the Mets there in those final 3 games. Obviously, the first game of that series was a 1-0 shutout with Aaron Nola on the mound. Not much offense there, but the rest of the 3 games, the Phillies offense was looking really good, and they continued that yesterday in that win against the Royals. 14 hits, 8 runs, 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. That is a .417 batting average with runners in scoring position last night in that win. We all know all season long the Phillies have gone into many stretches where they just can't deliver with runners in scoring position. That has not been the case really recently, and definitely wasn't the case last night, being 5 for 12. Of those 14 hits, half of them, 7 of them, were extra base hits for the Phillies last night. Everybody in the starting lineup got a base hit other than Edmundo Sosa there. In fact, Edmundo Sosa and the 7th hole hitter, the 7th spot in the batting order, were hitless because Weston Wilson came in and got an at-bat for Edmundo Sosa in that ballgame. When he left late in the ballgame, he also did not get a hit. So the 7th spot in the batting order, hitless, but everybody else in the order had at least 1 hit for the Phillies last night in that 8-2 victory over the Royals, including 6 players had 2 hit games for the Phillies. Multi-hit games, 6 of the 9 players in the starting lineup, in the lineup overall, had at least 2 hits, had a 2-hit game for the Phillies last night. The offense is clicking. It's great to see. We all know they've gone into those cold stretches, but right now, late in the season, they're getting the job done when it matters most. They increased this lead in the division to 12 games with just about 2 weeks left of the regular season. And obviously, 3 is their magic number to clinch the NL East. They're just about to clinch a playoff spot as well. They could do it as early as this weekend here against the Royals at home in front of their home fans. That'll be fun. That'll be exciting for them. And there's really no better way to do that. You'd rather do it at home than out there in LA on the road. We'll see what happens. But other news before the game yesterday kicked off for the Phillies. Walker Buehler, obviously, the roster spot had to clear for him to be activated to the Major League roster from AAA. And the Phillies, in a corresponding move, placed veteran reliever Jose Alvarado on the 15-day injured list with a left forearm strain. Obviously, he's a lefty. That's his throwing arm. We all know Jose Alvarado, when he's going good, can be one of the best relievers in all of baseball, one of the best late-inning, high-leverage, even closers in all of baseball. When he's going bad, it looks pretty rough, but a lot of the times, he's been one of the Phillies' better relievers. We all know he also was suspended for 80 games this season for that PED use, that weight loss supplement he reportedly took in the offseason that went against the MLB's drug policy. And then he's ineligible for the playoffs as well. As part of that suspension, he came back for a few games, looked a little okay, had a couple of rough moments, but overall, pretty solid. But he is no longer going to pitch for the Phillies here in 2025 with that 15-day injured list designation. Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, said before the game that he will not pitch again this season for the Phillies because of that injury, because of landing on the IL, and because of not being eligible to pitch in the postseason. Now, the IL stint was started on the 11th, retroactive to September 11th, which meant really he could have returned for that final regular season series against the Minnesota Twins, but 3 games, 2 games, however many games would have been left while he could have returned for one more series and then not being able to pitch in the playoffs. There's really no reason for him to come back for that. So Rob Thompson shuts him down for the season, and that could mean the end of an era for the Phillies and Jose Alvarado. He could be a free agent after this season. He does have a $9 million club option for 2026, depending on if the Phillies organization decides to pick it up or not. In my honest opinion, I think they should. $9 million for a reliever like Jose Alvarado, a late-inning, high-leverage guy who throws hard, has some good secondary pitches, really can be an elite reliever. $9 million is not that much to pay for. We just saw them pay $8.5 million for Jordan Romano this year, and that was, we all saw what came out of that. So, $9 million club option for next year. Who knows if they'll pick it up or not? It's something to decide for the organization in the offseason. He is 30 years old. He'll be 31 during the season next year, so he's getting a little bit older, but still, $9 million 1 more year. In my opinion, you take that. We'll see what happens. That's for a few more weeks, few more months to look at and decide and evaluate. He had been with the Phillies since 2021, so a while now. It's 2025, maybe one more year in 2026 or beyond, but still, it could be the end of an era for Jose Alvarado with the Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Game 2 of this 3-game series against the Royals tonight at Citizens Bank Park here on Saturday. Taijuan Walker on the mound, looking to extend the Phillies win streak to 6 games, looking to win this series already against the Royals, going into tomorrow's Sunday afternoon series finale against them, and then right into another big series on the road out in LA against the Dodgers. Again, thank you guys for watching, and as always, go Phils.